Welcome back to Shapez 2. My name is Nilaus and this is the guide on how to make a Make Anything machine. We have been doing really well on our Make Anything machine so far. We have been, setting it up, 4 levels, all colors, all shapes, including pins. The only thing missing is actually the crystals. And for the crystals we actually need to, make a completely different MAM, because this is for non-crystals and this one is for crystals. They are completely separate, so we're going to have to do something else. However, we need to make some rules before we get started. And this is important because if you want to make any kind of shape, such as, let's say something like that shape, for example, that's really complicated because there are holes underneath, that kind of thing, or stuff like this one, for example, also difficult because they're pins, then it's a very difficult problem. And yes, it is a very difficult problem, but what we're going to do is we're going to be building it so that it can deliver these. It's not going to be able to deliver any kind of shape that we can imagine. It is only designed to complete these milestones. So there are some rules here, and follow closely. Here's one of the rules: only one crystal color on a single layer. Layers with crystals are always full. That means there are no missing quarters. No missing quarters on any level below a crystal. And lastly, there are no pins in this one. Only pins over here. Well, not yet, but there will be. But no pins over here. So those are the design criteria. If you don't like them, you can adapt it to something else. But those will be the criteria that we will adhere by and sort of lean on in order to solve it, because we want to make one that solves this random operator shape. So that is how we're going to do it. And I'm going to start by simply copying. Well, in this episode, we are going to focus exclusively on single layer. There will only be a single layer. Oh, 429, that's expensive. And then I want it to be 1, 2, 3, 4. There, because then it's exactly like the other one. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, oh, I killed an entire train, damn it. Oh well. So that will eventually go in here, and this one will fill up. However, this is now setting up with a wrong signal, because this is now trying to make the channel 1 here. We don't want that. We want this actually to be... we were focusing on level 1 level. So there will actually be, since we're using 1, 2, 3, and 4, then I have to use 5, 6, 7, and 0. Damn it. Then we also need to make sure that our designer out here is also being copied, because that has to be used as well for this one. And then this will now be, let's take this out. We'll take this out. And then that's random operator shape 2. So we get that shape, and then we can go into the other ones. And you flip, and then there. All right, that works. And then I can bridge it over here so that I get this inbound from this shape, which I think is more important. Yes. The reason why I want to get it in here is because I might not want to only test it with this shape. I might want to test it with other shapes as well. There we go. And that means we can now get transmitters so that we can transmit to the other layers, but that's not really necessary at this point. We only need to have one layer here. This one will transmit to level 5. Good, and they'll transmit this level, and if of course 6, 7, 8 will be later on. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this is also replicated for all the other ones, so that we are doing this. This is something I have to do manually for my design, and I have to do it 10 times, so that's important. That's 6, oops, 7, 8, 9, and that one's the last one, 10. So now if it is entirely working on level 5 mechanics, that means it's trying to make this, but that's not going to work. So now we come to one of the big consideration. If we look at this, it will identify the different shapes, but it will only identify that square shape, and it'll identify the spiky shape. But the other shapes don't exist because they are not shapes. They are actually crystals. So how is that going to work? It isn't. That means we need to do something completely new, and that is I want to replace all of the crystals on this level with pins. That's it. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do another one here. And that means I am not going to take this one. Yeah, I am actually going to take that one, but I need to sort of get it in here in a different way. So what I will do is I will take this is what we get for level 1. And then I need to split this into all the levels. Let's do something like this. And do we want like 2 tiles between them here? Yeah. And then just for good measure. So remember, that'll be like 1 shape and there. And then I can do the monitoring of the shape here. Yeah. And then I will be just so we know what we're dealing with here. Great. So what do I need to do now? Now I need to build a logic that says if we are seeing a shape, or if we're seeing a shape, then use the same shape color and then pass it on. Good. If we're seeing a crystal, then take that spot and replace it with a pin. Right, so let's start with the easy one. That's going to be the one where it actually is going to pass on. Hold on. Copy F there. Yeah, this one's a little bit bigger than these 2 outbound. So what are we getting at outbound here? Oh yeah, see, this is one of the reasons why I actually want to make sure that this shape here has color. Yeah, I'm gonna take this shape and then use that in here. Configure here. It's that one, but I want it to be red and blue. There. And then I'm gonna flip it over. Yes. Good. Because then I can actually get the color. So what are we gonna do? We are simply going to recolor this as soon as we can. There we go. And then we're gonna just see what we're getting. Nothing. Flip. There we go. That is the shape we got here. Okay. So that's this shape here is going to move on. So when is it going to move on? Well, it's going to move on when it is not a crystal. So we need to check. We need to basically block this one from progressing when it is a crystal. So when it's a crystal, this one has to be no signal inbound, and when it's not a crystal, it has to be a signal end. Okay, so that means we need to check whether it's a crystal. There. And then I'm going to be doing a here, and this one will be CR. No, CU. No, it can't be that. This has to be a color. CR. Why red? No, CU. It can be uncolored. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does that work? Yes. And then if I was facing north, that would be working. Okay, I'm gonna face north. So this is now not true. That's really not what I want. So I'm gonna change this one to not. There. So we now know that this one is going to pass on if this is the inbound signal is a crystal. If the inbound signal is not a crystal, then it will pass on the normal signal. Great, including the color. But then we also want to say, what if it is a crystal? Then we're going to use that here. Then we're going to get another one of these here. And then I'm going to be reversing that signal we have. And then what are we going to send out? Well, then we're simply going to just hard code it as P dash 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 there. Just a little dot in the top right hand corner. Okay. I think this works. That's going to be my hypothesis. So if we just smash it in here, then we should see the outbound being a pin. Yes. Whew. All right. And then we can do this. I'm happy. right? So this one goes here, and then I need to, on the other side, just rotate them back. That one somehow doesn't need it because that's just there. Yeah. And then I need to just stack it because this just needs to go into the same build again. Let's just make sure that we got it. Yeah. So now they are all in the right position as we got here. We got the input signal, and there we got sort of defragmented and then reversed it into pins. Then we can stack there, there, and really? How do I feel I don't have enough space for this? Oh, right, because I decided to do that. There we go. This merges, this merge, and this merge. There, and then we're going to see what the final result is. It is exactly what we want. Right, so now this is going to be sent back into here. Now you will not be requesting any crystals because they don't exist as shape. We are going to simply request some pins. That means we'll see from previously these two top levels were empty, but now we're just feeding in pins. Pins don't have colors, so that flows through. There is one problem with this. I mean, there are many problems with this, but one of them is that I have to do this for every level. We are only going to do one level in this episode because that's going to be plenty of stuff for us. So now we're actually hopefully getting a signal out here. Okay, that's going to take a while to get here, but once we get that, it's how I just don't like this one being here. Well, maybe that's fine. We are going to there get a color inbound like this, I think. Yeah, like that. We're gonna get all the colors in, and now we need to do crystallization. Oh, that's so much in the way. Well, whatever. Come on, get us another one. Is there a pin? No pins. And this one is level 45. So my guess is it's at level 50 we start getting pins here. But we'll see it when we get it, and we'll be happy about it then and see if it works. Right, so now the beautiful part. Oh, right, this is a problem. This is actually... It should no longer be doing that. It should actually be requesting getting this one. And going in. It can't be 0. So why does that not work? Oh, right, because it should be the receiver. And that should be level 5. There we go. There. So now that's whenever it comes in here, that's a little bit of residual stuff. But when it comes in, then we will see it working. Now, what is the next thing? There are kind of a couple of ways to do the crystallization. Now, crystallization is really paint intensive. So if I take a full space pipe out here, it will not be able to paint an entire space belt. It needs 2 space pipes for 1 space belt. No, it needs half a space. No. Ah, man. Damn it. It needs twice as much pipes capacity as belt capacity. Damn it, this is such an inconvenient way of saying it. All right, I'm going to try to say it in another way. I will get it correctly, but it's so 12 belts go through 12 launchers. Okay, good. Now, if I go down here and then look at this and say that this is all I can get. There is no way that I can get faster output from a station than this. It can only go here. And this is going to take 1/4 of the capacity of the space pipe. But this part will be enough to paint a full space belt, but it will not be enough to crystallize a full space belt. So this will be half. This will only be able to crystallize half of a full space pipe, or 6 lanes. So 12 liquid launchers can fill up 6 solid launchers. That sucks. It just does. What also sucks is that this one is misplaced. I needed this one up here. There, because then it can go in here. Much better. All right. So that's a little bit of a challenge. That means I'm gonna be. This will be only be set up for 6 of the pipes or belts here, and then the other 6 belts will be replicated out here. So that means it's gonna be a bigger build here. These are connected, but this connection wasn't necessary. We turned out that we didn't actually want that connection. That means this thing here could be placed anywhere, and by anywhere I really mean not right there. That's a bad place as well. Okay, never mind. It's gonna stay there. Right. So at this point, we will want to get all the 7 colors in here, and then select which one to paint with, or which one to crystallize with. Another alternative is to only get the base colors, red, green, and blue, and then mix them together. I don't need that because I have all the other colors in here, so I might as well just drag the train over, and then all the logistics are already done. But it needs to be a big square here because I need a lot of inputs. As you can see, this is a lot of inputs. And that's actually going to be the main problem, is all of the inputs. And then I'm going to get belts inbound. Here. And then I'm going to get belts outbound. Moving on to the next. There. So that's good, isn't it? Then let's figure out what the next thing we want to do is. The next thing we want to do is find a way that we can get this material, get all of this sort of selected and thrown into a crystallizer that we'll build up here. So that means we are going to be starting by using the new pipe thing. Yeah. That's going to be here and here. So you go in, you go in. I'd like to actually have this inbound. Yes, I should. I should get that inbound. There. Don't care if I waste some materials. I want this colored. And this will be cyan or something. And then I can also do there and... Oops. There. These will merge together. And then I will get... Oh, there we go. White. Well, close. Alright, it's also different here. Because then I can get... There. Alright. And then I can just get this one linked together. And here's the beauty of this build. Actually, I think I also want them... Oh, not this one. But these also linked together. Yeah, like this. I think I like it. And I want this to be... Let's keep it there. And then I can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because why not? Why not indeed? Just take all of this, because it's going to be one signal coming in. And depending on the color the signal sends in, each one of these will be activating. So all I need to do now is hook up all these so they are ready to go, but they will not be shooting yet. There we go. We now have all the colors inbound. They are ready to go, and they just need a color input. And when they get a color input, they're going to be happy to shoot. So now the question is, what are we going to get for color input? And this is actually going to be a little bit tricky. Why tricky? Well, because since I replaced the crystals with just eyes, the guy with the crooked mustache, then, or let's call him pins, then I don't know the color anymore. So I'm gonna have to start rebuilding that as smoothly as I can. And the way I'm gonna do that is, oh, let's go back to this part. I'm gonna be unstacking it, and then let's figure out. Okay, so that's the one. This is all other than the top layer. So this one is fine. And what are we going to do here? We are going to just basically test it to see, are you a color? Let me just try to branch it downwards. So if this is a color, then it should be allowed to pass on. Yes. How do I know if it's a color? I have to check an equal against whether it's a crystal. So if it's a crystal, then pass on the color of said crystal. Because crystals can be uncolored only from this one, then they can be uncolored, but they will be colored here. So then we need one of these, and that will be a crystal CR dash 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 dash. There we go. Not CR, CU. There, an uncolored one. Does it work? Not really. But what have we actually done? What if I do then this part? Because I have to do all of them. Now I've done all of them, but then I can do this, which I don't really like, but in this case, it looks pretty cool. So what I've done now is, since we have just rotated once, we don't rotate it, check. We rotated once, check, rotated one more time, check, rotated one more time. So we go through all the iterations, and it turns out, yes, there is either nothing, because it's not a crystal, or there is the color. So this is why I'm saying that I have a requirement that I can only be one color, because if there's more than one color on this level, this one will get two different colors, and then it'll be a red wire. So now we do know what color we want. Great. That's amazing. Let's put that out here on the side, because that's a fine place to build it. And then I can drag this down and get it in. And then we'll see that it'll activate the correct color. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, that is one more problem solved. That is to identify what color it is. So now we need to do some branching up from here. And why did I put it so close? Because I got overzealous there. Let's actually build the crystallizer, because we do have a crystallizer. So let's just use that as a baseline. Let's put it up here and then see what could we do. We could just take half of that. Yeah, that's probably fine. Take half of that and get it in here. We have to remember that if this shape that comes in is not containing crystals, then it should not be branched down here. And I only need to branch 2 lanes, which means that is one too many lanes. There we go. So I need to branch 2 lanes down here, the front 2 lanes. Then I can always do the other one in the next one. And I will do that if I identify that there are crystals. How do I identify that there's crystals? That there is a... How do I do that? I guess I check. Huh. I guess I basically just check if that's the shape, because if that's the shape, then it goes in here. Right? Yeah, so I'm gonna get one of these. And then that will go number 5 here, this level. That shape. So we're just gonna check against this shape. Yes. Let's do that. And I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to get this one. Branch it off, and then we jump. There. And then I guess I do the same thing. What if you branch immediately? Oh yeah, like that. There. Good. So that's how we branch these off. And then I just need a design in here. Let's see. What is it? Oh, I should only do it if there's crystals, of course, because I was thinking that's weird. I can do that in a really simple way. This, if there's no crystals, this signal is going to be empty, and then means nothing comes in. So if this one moves forward, then it will move forward with the shape that should be on here. There we go. There we go. That should work, right? So what I'm basically doing here is, okay, I'm going to take that out, because I think it looks better if I rotate this a little bit here. that one. And then we're gonna go down here. Yeah, much nicer. Oops. That goes out here, and there we go. That looks much nicer. It goes straight up now. So what I'm doing now is I'm saying I'm going to take whatever should be on this level, which is the shape here, which means it matches. And then I'm going to say only send it up there if there is a color coming in. So for example, if this was random shape operator 1, then it wouldn't be going in and nothing would be branching out here. Yeah, this has a null value. We don't really like null values, do we? No, we don't. So I guess we'll insert the parts here, but let me just add that a little bit later. But then that should go in here, and this one should go in here. Oops, damn. Yeah, there we go. So that goes in here. And what about this shape here? Yeah, I need to bring it in. Probably 2 different locations here. That one and that one. And this is off by a little bit. So let's take this and move it a little bit more, a little bit better. Like this maybe? Sure. Okay. And we're going to be linking the pipes. Now I think that we've sort of done all the magical stuff. After we come out, we're going to be branching this one back in on these 2 lanes, which will be 1 lane in here and another lane in here. And I think we'll do it like this, and then like that. That was not very difficult. All right. Yeah, let's hack this a little bit more. I think a lot of the stuff has been done now. I've done it into 3 levels, just routed all of that. We put this one in, and we've set this one up. There, of course, has to be a not symbol, because if there is a symbol, then we want it to be a not symbol so that it goes on the breakaway. And then all we need to do now is there, getting it in here and seeing if it actually does correctly, because pins should be overridden by crystallizers. So we should get the right crystallizer out here, but only on half of the belt, or half the belts, which will then use all of our pink coming in here, or at least as fast as we can get the pink, well, I don't know, magenta inbound. Do we get something? Yes, and it actually is exactly the right shape that we want, including the coloring on the non-crystal shapes. Then all we need to do now is just do the same thing one more time, and then redo these branches here. So let's try and do that. So this is the second one, and it'll just follow the same logic. The only difference is that it will be branching off from the top 2 lines and going back onto the top 2 lines. This guarantees that I have enough inputs here, and maybe, just maybe, that if I get to, or if I have to get too many things inbound, then it will not work. Like too many things that, too many layers that need to be crystallized with the same color, then I might be running out. But I have a pretty nice buffer over here, and I have a pretty good supply as well. So I do feel pretty confident that this is not going to run out. And if it does run out, well, then we can always fix it. So I put a little blue train here. The blue train will simply just, actually, let me just kill that blue train here and get that here. I'm just going to get one little train. And those will be coming in and being brought back, but that's actually not what we want to do, because that's not the correct shape. And this, by the way, what I've done here is only working for a single layer. It definitely doesn't work for multi-layer. But what I can do then is quite simple. I can just toggle this, bloop, then it goes over to the actual shape. And that means it stops coloring them, and it, oh, we are also missing a deleter back here. Oh yes, we need a deleter right before that one. Honestly, couldn't you be just getting a little bit closer? Oh, you could be in there. Oh, that would be so silly. Let me do that. And then this one would be a deleter, which means I need to get that one in here. And what are we going to delete? We are simply going to compare it to the overall level, except, look at that. it doesn't work, because now it's actually comparing it to the one without the crystals, because that's what we have in here. So this one should actually be the random operator shape 2, but I need to make sure that it's specifically saying level 1. There. There. Because it could be, in this case, it's going to be that one. Level 1. Good. All right, so all of this that we now built is going to be deleted, because that was just to also test that we could get the normal colors and we didn't mix up the colors from the shapes with the colors for the crystallizer. And this is all being empty, and we're getting the new one inbound. So we're going to leave it here for a while until it comes in and it's ready to go. And look at this beautiful thing here. We are getting the shapes. If I turn north, then it should be... Oh, really? Is it turned? No, it's not turned. It's just perfect. Just be careful not to... There we go. We have a full train and going back. So we are almost done with the Make Anything machine. Actually, we are almost done with both Make Anything machines, because we have the previous one that's fully operational and just chugging along. Then we have the new one, but it only works for one layer. And shapes with crystals in multi-layer are not so easy, because what happens when you try to stack them on top of each other is that the crystals break. So we're going to have to come up with a cool way to solve that problem. It is of course a solvable problem. So that's going to be what we do in the final episode of my my MAM series here. Oh, look at that. We got it completed. So now we have proof that we are actually enabling us to do this shape, and then we'll start doing the other shapes. These will be cleansed out soon. Cleansed out here, cleansed out there, and we are now getting the next shape inbound, which will be turning white. That means we can see here this color thing has changed over to the white color. Perfect. I mean, everything about this is just absolutely amazing. I'm super happy about it. I hope you found it useful. I hope that this could inspire you to how to solve this problem, and maybe you have other ways of solving it. You can definitely do it by just combining the colors, or yeah, I don't know. There are definitely other ways to do it, but this one is the one that came to mind for me, and I'm really happy about it, and I think it works very well. Of course, remember the conditions that have to be true in order for this to work. Only one crystal color on any single level. There can be different colors on different levels. We just haven't implemented that yet. Layers with crystals are always full, so there are no missing quarters, and there will be no missing quarters on any level below where there's crystals, and then there will be no pins in this one, because of course the pins would be replaced with crystals, and all the other conditions would just be ruined as we start sort of crystallizing multi-layers. So that's why we are putting these requirements in, and it just so happens that those requirements match very well with what the rules are for generating this shape also further down the line. I haven't gone past 50, so I don't know if that changes at 50, but it's going to work for a very long time. So I hope you find it useful. As usual, if you want to get hold of the blueprints, they are available to Patreon supporters. So the people who are supporting this channel monetarily, they are the ones who keep the lights on around here. And therefore, I want to give you something a little bit extra, and that is ready-made blueprints for all this, such as this thing here, and these ones as well, and just the whole blueprint as well, if you want that to stamp it down in one fell swoop of, how much is that actually going to be? 600,000. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next and final episode of the Make Anything Machine series. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.